So today we're going to be going over 10 fragrances that I immediately purchased a backup bottle of when I got my nose on them. And so there was a couple reasons behind my backup bottle purchases of each of these here, but basically it boils down to two things. One being that it was a discontinued fragrance and I knew that and I wanted to get a backup bottle. And the second one was that I was just so captivated by it, so blown away by it, that I wanted to go ahead and have another one just to have around. And for some of these, it's a mixture of both. So we'll go ahead and run through this 10 fragrances here. We've got, I believe, one, maybe two niche fragrances and the rest designers. They will be all linked up down below as well, so if you want to grab them for yourself, you can, along with the FragranceNet 35% off link. Click that, it'll automatically apply it to your cart. You can go through and do all of your shopping, get the best deal possible at all times with that link. It's in all of my videos. Let's go. First up, we have Abercrombie & Fitch First Instinct Eau de Toilette. Yep, there you go. You can read that. First Instinct. You can see this puppy is looking a little bit sad, a little bit pathetic, but rest assured, I do have a full 100ml backup bottle, still sealed and just about ready to go. Probably this summer, I'll have to break that one out and say goodbye to this one here, my first ever bottle. This one has melon, woods, pepper. It is a very tropical, fun, fruity, playful scent. This is one that will not appeal to guys who want something mature, something very masculine. This is a tropical, playful, maybe teenager-leaning fragrance. After all, it is an Abercrombie & Fitch. For me, it's kind of a guilty pleasure. I love the melon note here. I think it makes it so unique. It definitely stands out, especially in the summertime. It's a fragrance that I usually like to break out in May. So kind of as we're starting to get into the thought of summertime, you know, you're through winter time, you're towards the end of spring, all of the rain is going away, all of the low, cool weather is for the most part kind of getting out of the system, and you're starting to see some sunny, warm days, just kind of getting into the mood of summertime. That's when I start to wear this one, and it gets me fired up for summer every single year. Love breaking this one out of hibernation and just smelling it and feeling tropical, fun, and amazing. I'm glad I have a backup bottle. Obviously, this one's looking a bit pathetic here, and it's one that I will probably always have a couple bottles of on hand just to have. I typically apply this one pretty heavily, given that it's not the strongest scent, and it's also affordable, so it's easy to have on hand, and you're not wasting a bunch of money by applying this one heavily. And you're not wasting a bunch of money by spraying a lot of this stuff on. This next one is not really a cheap fragrance at all, actually, quite the opposite. It is one of the niche fragrances here in this one, and that is this guy, good old AVENTUS. So this obviously was not my first bottle. This is the new style 100ml. My first bottle was a 120ml, which I still have, but I like to show these because they're more relatable. Like, this is what you can buy nowadays without spending $500+ on a 120ml bottle. So at the time, you know, it was a fragrance that I really had to save up for. I sampled it first, I fell completely in love with it, and I was so excited to finally have my own bottle that I could wear and enjoy, and I was so hooked. Immediately, I started getting obsessed with this whole batch variation idea, and long story short, as soon as I was able to afford it, I had another one. And now I have another one, and another one, and another one, and I have a lot of AVENTUS. In fact, I just picked up another bottle like a couple months ago. Yeah, this is a fragrance that's very special to me, very near and dear to my heart. It's a scent that I wear for myself because I love it. I love how it makes me feel. I love smelling it on myself. This here, it just resonates with me. Next up, we have M7 Oud Absolu by Yves Saint Laurent. So this is the new style. I have, I believe, 3 bottles in total, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe it is 2, but I want to say 3. I have 1 of this style and 2 of the style before it with the black wrap going around it. I think that's what I have. But I know for sure I have at least 1 backup bottle of this one ready to go. Or if they decided to discontinue this again, or if I just wanted to have another bottle around and it was out of stock or whatever. This one's got orange, it's got oud, it has patchouli, all of that stuff. Obviously the oud in here, but it's not too strong. It's a very nice wearable entry-level oud. It's designer oud fragrance. This is the type of thing that can kind of get you thinking about and playing around with oud a little bit. For me, it's so wearable, such a great scent, one that is definitely unique, and it's one that I like to enjoy if I want to stand out. So this next one, I have 4 bottles in total, 2 sealed up in boxes and 2 I have open. which is kind of a long story. I had got a gift set basically and did a video on it, so I had to have one open. But this is Club Black by Mercedes-Benz. So I was just going through and unboxing a lot of my stuff here, and I have a whole shelf dedicated to my backup bottles, like sealed stuff. My girlfriend helped me put all this stuff on there, and I realized 4 bottles of this. It's pretty solid. Vanilla, benzoin, ambroxan. Yeah, that's basically all you need to know. I thought there was one more, but vanilla, benzoin, ambroxan. It's a vanilla heavy scent, and it's one that I absolutely love. You know, I talk about it all the time. It's one that I wear all the time, just pick up and smell all the time because I enjoy it. So if that helps solidify it for you, and that way you know that I'm not just making stuff up and saying that, oh, Club Black, hyping it up for no reason. This is one that I truly think is incredible, especially at the price when it is in stock and readily available. It is a little bit iffy right now on picking this one up, kind of in stock, out of stock here recently, but if you can grab a bottle of this one, and you will be able to at some point, I cannot recommend it enough if you like vanilla. For me, it just blew my mind, and I knew I had to get another one, and I ended up with more than I need for sure. So next one, we have Hugo Boss Reversed. So I've gone through a couple bottles of this one, just kind of decanting it. I think I gave one away. This is my current bottle that I have now. It has grapefruit, rosemary, vetiver. It's such a nice, refreshing scent. I love it. I still do. This one did catch a lot of attention when I was talking about it over a couple summers ago. As I discovered it, I featured it in a lot of videos. I've done full reviews, that sort of thing. So it's a fragrance that, of course, gained a lot of people who also really liked it. You know, you guys watch the channel, you tried this one out, you're like, oh, that's awesome. But just like with anything that does take off, it got a lot of people who dislike it as well. For me, I think it's still, to this day, one of the best Hugo fragrances in this canteen style bottle line. These fragrances here, I'm not comparing this against, you know, Private Accord and Boss Bottled Eau de Parfum, not those. I'm talking about the canteen bottles. You can't tell me that this does not hang with those and exceed a lot of them, because a lot of those fragrances are on the boring side. So I think this one does really bring something to the table. I find the quality is a bit better here with this one. I find that it's a bit more unique. Big fan of this stuff. Moving along, we have a fragrance that, for whatever reason, is getting more expensive now. Last time I looked, it's up over $100, which I was not at all expecting. It's literally doubled in price. This was a, you know, $48 to $50 fragrance all day long for several years in a row. So I don't know what that means, if that means discontinuation. Hate to point fingers, hate to make assumptions, but it's kind of strange because this is not a hyped up fragrance anymore. Something weird is definitely going on. And you can probably guess what this one is just by that sound there. This one is CH Men Prive. Whiskey, leather, woods. Such a great scent. It's just how I remembered it. Smells fantastic. This one I picked up a good while ago. Well, not this bottle, but my first bottle. I picked it up a while ago when it was getting hyped, and it was a scent that really it stuck with me. It really did intrigue me. It captivated me. And like I said, even now when I smell this one, I still feel the exact same way about it. It still smells just like I remember it smelling years ago. I love it. You know, that whiskey note up top gives it a nice, freshy, boozy spiciness. You get the leather following that. You get this powderiness, a bit of a creaminess. It's not a leather fragrance in the same category as like Tuscan Leather or Godolphin or Gucci Guilty Absolute. It is a very, very wearable leather scent. I mean, we're talking worlds apart here. So if you've been a bit iffy on leather, or you've smelled leather fragrances that are so extreme where you don't want anything to do with them anymore, if it's just not your thing, this is not that at all. You know, it is very subdued. It is definitely a designer level leather fragrance. Not that some of those others aren't designers, but they were savage there. This one's so wearable. A lot of people, I don't even know, would necessarily pick up on the leather like to the extent of Tuscan Leather, Godolphin. You know, especially on skin. You get the whiskey, you get the other notes in here, tonka bean, I believe. It's a really nice scent. I don't know what's going on with it, but I do have a backup bottle, and I'm glad I do, because double the price, that's concerning. Next up, we have Chanel Platinum Egoiste. So I was lucky to be in the position where I was able to pick up a few of these for a really good deal. I've got like 4 bottles in total, which sounds ridiculous. But again, good deals, can't pass up. I have a lot of backup Chanels because one of my buddies is a Chanel plug for sure, and so he hooked me up on, you know, a good amount of fragrances. And I know for me, it's a bit ridiculous given the size of my collection. I don't care. I could sell them at any point. I would rather have them ready to go than need them and not have them. Obviously, I don't think Chanel is going to be discontinuing this fragrance anytime soon. I don't see that happening. But with some other ones in here, it is a possibility. And like I've said before, it's a lot easier to buy something ahead of time and hold on to it than try to buy it when it's already screwed in the market and way expensive. You can always sell your stuff. It can be a lot harder to buy it, though, later on down the line. Again, that's not really relevant here. Just got some good deals on it. I've actually given one of these away as well. Maybe I'll do another giveaway, who knows. But Platinum Egoiste, it's a fragrance that I wouldn't buy repeatedly if I didn't love it. It's a lavender, geranium, minty, aromatic, fresh, well put together gentleman's fragrance. This is classiness to the absolute max. One of the best upscale, clean fragrances for men. Absolutely love it. You got to get your nose on it to understand. It may look boring on paper. It may just look like an aromatic fougere. Trust me, it is light years ahead of that. Chanel quality, great performance. I've got just so many great things to say about this one, but I've already said it, so let's move to the next one. And that next one would be this divisive one right here, Ultra Male by Jean Paul Gaultier. My little stopper is missing, so you don't have to listen to the annoying jingling sound when I go to bring it up on camera. Lucky for you. Pear, vanilla, lavender, cinnamon, another guilty pleasure, kind of like First Instinct. This is a fragrance that you typically wouldn't expect a fragrance enthusiast to like. Typically, you know, fragrances like this and like this are super easy to get hated on. I mean, you can throw these out to a niche snob or an elitist or something and they'll have a heyday with it. It's like low-hanging fruit. But I'm here to say, I think this is a great fragrance. I like how it smells. I like the pear in here. It's fruity. It's very, very sweet, sickeningly sweet. Not for everybody, but for me, I like it, especially in the fall time. Something about wearing this one around Halloween especially. You know, just kind of the whole vibe, the whole mood of Halloween and that time of fall for me matches this one really nice. It's fun, it's playful, it's a tiny bit mysterious, it's a little bit cuddly even though it's very loud. Just tone back your sprays. It's a scent that I love, and yes, I do have a backup bottle, and I've also kind of gone through a few bottles of this one, so great stuff. Second to last fragrance, we have L'Homme Ideal Cologne by Guerlain. So it is discontinued. And I do have a backup bottle, and I'm very glad that I did. You know, this was really getting a lot of hype, and it was kind of at the peak of its hype where it went discontinued, which was terrible timing for the brand. It definitely sucks. And so I saw that. I took advantage of a backup bottle. Unfortunately, it's only a 50 ml. Realistically, that's still going to be plenty, and you know, there's also an alternative to this one now, which is L'Homme Ideal Cool. Just go out and buy this one. They're not exactly the same, but they are similar, and in some instances I like Cool better because of the green mintiness. Great fragrance here as well, but it's still hard to beat the Cologne, the OG, that they unfortunately cut off. So again, you know, this was a lot of people's favorites. I hope you guys out there who really enjoyed this one did go ahead and pick up a backup bottle and made an investment in it, because if not, it's going to be tough now. And it's only going to continue to get tough as they get even more rare and as prices go up even more. And last up, we have this ginormous bottle here, Acqua di Gio Profondo. This was not the first one I got. The first one I got was like the 125 ml. And then this was literally like, I smelled that 125 ml, did a couple of videos on it, kept wearing it, and I had this one ordered within, I don't know how long after, maybe a couple weeks or something like that. It was pretty quick. I'm like, this stuff is just about as close to as magical as you can get, like secret weapon level, so I'm getting another one. Now, if someday, years down the future, they decide to start putting out some rumors of discontinuation like Profumo, I've already got a head start on backup bottles here, and this won't be the last one if I hear about any sort of discontinuation. Trust me, Profumo, I've got 7, 8 bottles of that stuff, and if I start hearing stuff about this, it's going down. Mineral notes, orange, sea notes. I want to say there's like some herbal notes in here. There's Aqua Zone, which is different. Not sure what that's about, but essentially this is yet another different take on aquatic scent. And I say yet another like that's common. I guess I should rephrase that. This is a different take on an aquatic scent, and it is not yet another basic aquatic, because there are a ton of those out there that almost smell the same. This does not smell like any other aquatic fragrance that I've smelled, that I've tried. It truly has this mineral water smell, like the minerals in the ocean, the rocks and everything. It's so photorealistic, but it's also so sexy. My girlfriend goes crazy for this stuff, which is awesome for me because that means I get to wear it as much as I want in the summertime and she doesn't get tired of it. Great fragrance here that I bought a backup bottle of with the quickness for sure. So guys, there you have it. That is 10 fragrances that I bought a backup bottle of at one point or another. Some of these quicker than others. You know, I kind of had to wait for funds on some of these, like AVENTUS back when I first bought that several years ago. And then others like Profondo, it happened very, very quick. Let me know down below, what are some fragrances that you've bought backup bottles for, whether it be almost instantaneously after you try something or after you've burnt through it a little bit and decided, oh crap, I'm going through this quick, I need to get another. And remember, there will be links to each and every one of these down below, so you can check them out for yourself. That FragranceNet 35% off link will always be there in all of my videos. That is the surefire way to make sure you get the best deal every time, because FragranceNet makes a habit of changing their 35% off code. Then you got to go to these other websites to try to find it. It can be a pain. That link, it automatically applies it no matter what it is. You don't even need a code. Just click it, automatically applied. Go do your shopping. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy. We'll see you tomorrow with another one. Take care.